Joining us, as always, for this week's entertainment panel is the lovely Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be able to come in studio and be able to come for the best panel of the week.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
It is the best panel of the week.
Right? So we got some good topics on the go, and I think they're very seasonal, that's for sure.
Yes.
This one's a little bit, I guess kind of shocked that we'd be talking about it right now. Halloween hasn't even passed yet. But, this movie's going to be coming up here in November 11th, I'm pretty sure, in theaters. And this one is Spirited, and it's supposed to be a new Apple TV Christmas movie. And once you see who's in it, it looks like it's already going to be hilarious. We got Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's going to be great.
I think that's a perfect duo, and the dynamic, just separately. You've seen them in a bunch of other comedies, but together, I think it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be maybe a little bit messy, but all in all, very hilarious, considering this is also a musical. Adaptation on Charles Dickinson's The Christmas Carol. There's been tons of adaptations about this, but this one seems like it's going to be more of a comedy and less of, a finding yourself type of movie, especially with the two, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. Octavia Spencer is also in it, and I think she's fantastic in everything she does. She's hilarious as well, so I think that's the perfect addition to this cast. Now, Will Ferrell's playing the ghost of Christmas past, and of course, Ryan Reynolds is going to be, his name is Clint Briggs, and he is a businessman, probably, not into Christmas.
Yeah, probably grumpy and like, oh.
Yeah, who doesn't
Christmas.
really want to give back, considering, he's wealthy, so he probably doesn't want to give back. There wasn't too much in the trailer. I think it was just chaos in the trailer. It opens up with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds tap dancing, and then it kind of then goes into the storyline. I think it's just going to be hilarious watching the two of them on screen together. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, it is coming in theaters November 11th, and then it'll be streaming on Apple TV November 18th. So a little bit of a gap in between, but not too much of a wait to watch on Apple TV. But I'm very excited for it. I think this is promising. I think that, it's a different and unique take on the original story. They even have a different name for it, being Spirited. So I'm hopeful for this movie.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be exciting to see kind of the chemistry between those two, both hilarious. Let's see if, they have that good chemistry on screen that, they're hilarious together and it's not something that you're like, it's kind of forcing it or something,
Yeah.
But I think that will be some good chemistry. They both have those goofy personalities.
Yeah.
And with Octavia Spencer, she's just hilarious on her own as well. So I think it's going to be really good. And it's funny that it's coming out like way ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like here November 11th theaters. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think they're kind of saying this is a Christmas movie, but it's also like
just
however you want to take it kind of movie.
Just a funny comedy before American Thanksgiving, before Christmas, like over a month before Christmas. But we're going to throw out this wacky Christmas movie based on a story that every generation knows.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be funny, I think.
Sounds like a fun project for sure that a lot of people, I think, are going to be excited to. Who knows? You really like it. It'll be a new Christmas tradition kind of movie, But, we got another thing that's coming up in time for Halloween, and it's already here. Halloween Ends. This is the last movie, I guess, in that franchise in a way. And the sad thing is, everybody, like, I love me some Jamie Lee Curtis and everything, but it's gotten some pretty rough reviews so far. Not trying to give, obviously, some spoilers. There is some spoilers already out there, but it's gotten some bad reviews, and I know a lot of people aren't too happy with the way it ended.
Yes, the original Scream Queen is back, and for the last time. We've had some bad reviews on the first two. The first one, they got some decent reviews, and then the second one fell very short of that. And it seems like the third one is kind of following suit, and it currently has a 43% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and only a 59% audience rating. Which is kind of disappointing, but it is a slasher, so you have to take it with a grain of salt because slashers are ridiculous. They're, sometimes an overkill, but that's just what makes them slashers. You got the blood, the guts, the gore. Now coming into Halloween Ends, it seems as though that it's not hitting the way that they thought it would. One top critic on Rotten Tomatoes, Linda Merrick with the Jewish Chronicle, stated one could excuse the lack of scares had the writers done something out of the ordinary with this closing chapter. Instead, we are left with a case of let's throw everything at the story but the kitchen sink and see what sticks. So it's kind of like they just threw a bunch of ideas out there and then decided, okay, whatever sticks, we'll just go with. And there wasn't a whole lot of thought into the writing and stuff. So that's kind of disappointing considering this is the final installment with especially Jamie Lee Curtis. Obviously, if you're a huge fan of the franchise, definitely don't let this deter you from seeing it, for seeing the final chapter. You know, I know I'll be seeing it, and I still think it would be worth going to check out.
Yeah, and a lot of projects, you know, we've seen those bad reviews on. We always do say, like, you know, take your own opinion, go see it. Just don't even be like, oh, bad reviews, I'm not seeing this. And I've seen like online that some people are comparing it with the classics of the Halloween franchise, of just showing the lighting difference and all that stuff. And you know, of course, back in the day, it seemed a little bit more cheesier, but I think a lot of people sometimes miss those creative choices than what they do now with this new trilogy of how they handle things. So it's not going to make everyone happy. Some people, like, you know, in different, I feel like generations are going to be like, I like that, or I'm used to this, so I don't know why they changed that. So I think everyone should still go see it and decide for themselves, finish off it, and you know, give Jamie Lee Curtis that final goodbye that she deserves, because of course, she's amazing in those movies. So, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be able to speak with us today, Abby.
Of course.